Welcome back to Football Daily, where today we're constructing a team of players who lifted the FA Youth Cup with Chelsea as teenagers and taking a look at how far they've come since. Winning the competition 7 times between 2010 and 2018, the Blues have produced a ton of great talents, but not all have achieved the success they were once tipped for. Let's go. Goalkeeper Jamal Blackman. Manning the sticks for Chelsea's triumph in the 2012 FA Youth Cup final, Jamal Blackman is still owned by the Blues at the time of writing, despite having never played for the club's senior side. In the 8 years since that victory, the English keeper has played for 8 different teams on loan, with mixed results. While he experienced success at Wycombe Wanderers, winning their Young Player of the Year award in 2017 after keeping 17 clean sheets, and was similarly impressive at Sheffield United the following campaign, he has also languished as a backup, warming the bench at Middlesbrough, Leeds and Vitesse. This means that at 27, Blackman has clocked up less than 130 career appearances. However, currently the number 1 at Rotherham, and with his Blues contract expiring in 2021, we're hopeful he can find a permanent home soon. Defender Ola Aina. We could have given our right back slot to Reece James, who captained the Blues to victory in the 2018 final, but we had to go for Ola Aina, who played in 3 consecutive finals between 2013 and 2015. Losing the first but going on to win the following 2, Aina was part of a side which consolidated Chelsea's 2010s dominance. He also picked up 2 UEFA Youth League titles with the Blues, and during this time began to turn the head of first-team manager Jose Mourinho, who gave him his debut in a pre-season friendly against AFC Wimbledon in 2014. However, he wouldn't get his first competitive appearance until Antonio Conte was in charge, and eventually opted for a loan move to Hull in the Championship, where he impressed enough to get his first call-up for Nigeria and attract the interest of Torino in Serie A. Aina quickly made a name for himself as one of the best young fullbacks in Italy, and La Granata made his move permanent for €10 million in 2019. However, after appointing Marco Giampaolo the following summer, the Turin club searched for a new right-back, and the London-born defender returned home with a loan move to Fulham. Defender Nathan Aké. Signed from the Feyenoord Academy at 15 years of age, Nathan Aké arrived at Stamford Bridge as one of Europe's most exciting defensive prospects. The Blues beat Man City to his signature, and he quickly became a hit, helping the under-18 side win the FA Youth Cup in 2012, making his Premier League debut just months later at 17, and winning the club's Young Player of the Year award the following May. But Aké's Chelsea career never took off from there. Dropped to the reserves by Jose Mourinho, an experience he later said left him mentally broken, the young defender rebuilt his confidence with a loan move to Watford, then newly promoted in 2015. Aké impressed at left-back under Quique Sanchez-Flores, leading the Hornets squad for tackles and interceptions with an outstanding 7.3 per 90, with captain Troy Deeney remarking on the youngster's dedication and professionalism. He then moved on to Bournemouth, and despite being briefly recalled to Stamford Bridge, made a permanent switch to the south coast, with the Cherries shelling out a club record £20.5 million in 2017. 3 years later, Man City finally have their man, with Aké now at his 4th Premier League club at the age of just 25. Defender Jake Clarke-Salter. Andreas Christensen and Fikayo Tomori may have gone on to make multiple appearances for the Chelsea first team, but it was Jake Clarke-Salter who partnered them both at youth level, who was once seen as the most likely to become a future Blues star. He played every minute in 3 consecutive FA Youth Cup victories, and by the time he led the side out for the 2016 final, had already made his first appearance for the senior side, with then captain John Terry touting the teenager as his long-term replacement, even saying that he reminded him of himself. However, while he's still on the books at Stamford Bridge with a contract running until 2022, Clarke-Salter hasn't appeared in the Premier League in over 4 years, having spent time on loan at Bristol City, Sunderland, Vitesse and now Birmingham. However, injuries have limited his playing time in the Midlands, just as they did at Bristol in the 2016-17 campaign. But despite numerous setbacks, Clarke-Salter's leadership qualities have always been apparent, and he captained England's under-21s at the 2019 Euros. At 23 years old, he's still well placed to make it back to the top flight in the future, although making it into Chelsea's pack defence may be a step too far. Defender Jada Silva. Starting alongside Clarke-Salter in 3 consecutive finals, left-back Jada Silva scored the opener of the 2014 showpiece against local rivals Fulham just 6 days after his 16th birthday, and eventually became one of just 7 players in history to win the competition 3 times. A feat which hadn't been matched since Man United's Busby Babes in the 1950s. But despite his excellent displays for Chelsea's various youth sides, as well as captaining England to victory at the Under-19s Euros, De Silva, who had joined the Blues Academy from hometown club Luton at 13, never made it to the first team. He was eventually loaned to Charlton in League One and switched to Bristol City in the Championship in 2018, making his move permanent a year later, much to the annoyance of Blues fans who hoped he'd be recalled in the wake of Marcos Alonso's poor form. De Silva has been a hit in Bristol, showing the tactical intelligence needed to excel at both left back and left wing back, and is part of an exciting side with ambitions of reaching the Premier League. Midfielder Nathaniel Chalobah. Having captained Chelsea to glory in the 2012 FA Youth Cup, Nathaniel Chalobah wouldn't make his first team debut until 4 years later, by which point he'd already gained a wealth of experience from a number of loan spells. This included an excellent season at Watford in the Championship when he was just turning 18, and a year on the fringes of Maurizio Sarri's Napoli squad. Antonio Conte was the manager who finally gave him his chance at the Bridge, but 9 of his 10 Prem appearances in the 2016-17 campaign came off the bench, and he sealed a permanent switch back to Watford the following summer. However, his return to Vicarage Road got off to the worst possible start as he fractured his kneecap in training. The freak injury kept him out for an entire season and was made even worse by the fact Gareth Southgate was preparing to give him his first call up to the England setup at the time. Chalobah eventually got his first 3 Lions cap in 2018 as a stoppage time substitute, but hasn't made the squad since, while Etienne Capoue and Abdoulaye Doucouré's excellent partnership meant minutes were hard to come by at Watford too. But with Doucouré now at Everton, the 25-year-old is finally a regular starter for the Hornets once again. Midfielder Lewis Baker. Like Jada Silva, Lewis Baker was poached from Luton Town at a young age and captained the Blues for the 2013 FA Youth Cup final, which they lost to Norwich. However, he had played alongside Nathaniel Chalobah in the previous year's victory, so qualifies for this team. And despite making his first and last appearance for the senior side back in January 2014, Lewis remains a Chelsea player, having signed a 5-year contract extension with the club in 2017. His latest loan move has taken him to Trabzonspor, and he seems to have found his groove in Turkey, bagging 2 assists in the early weeks of the 2020-21 campaign. But he hasn't always found it easy to slot in. Following an excellent 2-year spell at Vitesse, Baker struggled for game time at Middlesbrough and found it similarly difficult under Marcelo Bielsa at Leeds and with Fortuna Düsseldorf in the Bundesliga. Once regarded as one of Europe's very best midfield prospects and compared to both Frank Lampard and Santi Cazorla for his technical prowess and eye for goal, Lewis Baker's chances of getting back into the Chelsea setup at 25 now look incredibly slim. Midfielder Mason Mount. Joining the Chelsea academy at just 6 years of age, Mason Mount came through the ranks at Stamford Bridge at the same time as Declan Rice, Ryan Brewster and Eddie Nketiah. But unlike those 3, the young midfielder stuck it out with the Blues and eventually got his reward. A precocious teenager, Mount featured regularly for the club's under-23 side when he was just 17, but around this time was advised by his father, an experienced manager at non-league level, to consider his future at the London club, citing the fact no academy product had truly made it at Stamford Bridge since John Terry. However, the young midfielder was determined to make it work, and when given the opportunity to prove himself on loan, did so emphatically. At 18, he contributed to 23 goals in 32 appearances for Vitesse, and the following season became Frank Lampard's key creator at Derby County. And the trust built between coach and player that season proved handy for Mount, following Lampard's appointment by Chelsea in the summer of 2019. The youngster made more league appearances for the Blues than anyone else in the 1920 campaign, and is now holding his own in attack featuring some of Europe's very best forwards. Forward Dominic Solanke. One of Chelsea's most exciting prospects during the mid-2010s, Dominic Solanke bagged 12 goals in the 2014-15 UEFA Youth League and ended the season with 41 goals in all competitions. The following season he was sent on loan to Vitesse before his 18th birthday, ending the campaign with 7 goals and gaining valuable experience under the tutelage of Peter Bosz, alongside other exciting young talents such as Milot Rashica and Marvelous Nakamba, as well as Blues Academy teammates Lewis Baker and Izzy Brown. However, with the youngster reluctant to go on loan again or sign a new contract at Stamford Bridge, he spent a year in the Blues reserves before getting picked up on a free by Liverpool, a move which spelt excitement for both player and the fans of the Merseyside outfit, who were going from strength to strength under Jurgen Klopp. But it never worked out for him at Anfield, with Mo Salah's arrival the same summer solidifying the Reds' forward line, and he made just 5 league starts before being sold for a hefty profit to Bournemouth, where he also struggled to nail down a starting berth. However, following the departure of Callum Wilson in the summer of 2020, Solanke has become the main goal threat on the south coast, and at the time of writing has registered 5 goals and 3 assists in 14 championship appearances. Forward Tammy Abraham. Between 2014 and 2016, Tammy Abraham scored 74 goals in 98 appearances for Chelsea's academy and reserves. A key contributor in a side which won back-to-back FA Youth Cup and UEFA Youth League doubles, Tammy scored in consecutive domestic finals against Man City, with the Blues overcoming impressive sides that counted Kelechi Iheanacho, Angelino, Brahim Diaz and Jadon Sancho among its best players. And aside from a disappointing spell and a poor Swansea side in the 2017-18 campaign, Abraham's output has hardly dropped since. At 19, he notched up 23 goals in the Championship for Bristol City, outscoring everyone bar Chris Wood, and went even better 2 seasons later, firing in 25 to help Aston Villa gain promotion back to the Prem, with Teemu Pukki denying him the Golden Boot on that occasion. And like his good friend Mason Mount, the young striker took his chance back at Stamford Bridge, scoring 7 goals in his first 4 starts under Frank Lampard. And despite the wealth of attacking talent brought to West London in the summer of 2020, Abraham is still staking his claim as the club's number 9, with Timo Werner pushed to the left in order to accommodate him in multiple games. Forward, Jeremie Boga. We must first of all give a shout out to Callum Hudson-Odoi, who at 20 years of age has already made 72 appearances for the Chelsea first team. But we couldn't ignore Jeremie Boga, who by the same age had already plied his trade in 3 different countries. The Marseille-born forward was part of 2 FA Youth Cup winning sides, eventually making his first team debut in 2017 following promising loan spells at Rennes and Granada. However, he was subbed just 18 minutes into the Premier League fixture with Burnley following a red card to captain Gary Cahill, and he was swiftly sent on loan to Birmingham in the Championship. But following that instance of bad luck, some good fortune did arrive in the form of Sassuolo, who paid €3 million to take him to Serie A on a permanent basis, and he has excelled in Italy. In 2019-20, he scored 11 league goals off the left wing, the same as Paulo Dybala and Arkadiusz Milik, ranking 4th in the Sassuolo squad for minutes played and 3rd for shots. This great form led Chelsea to consider exercising their buyback clause on the youngster, as well as a €30 million bid from Napoli. But Boga remains with the Nero Verdi, a key part of one of Europe's most exciting teams. So that was our 11 of Chelsea FA Youth Cup winners, but have you got any suggestions for videos like this we could do in the future? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like, and why not stick around on FD by clicking on screen now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.